Hello from Jonathan and from me, welcome to the programme.
First tonight, two young men whose high-speed car race on a Norfolk road killed a girl as she celebrated her 18th birthday are tonight behind bars.
Stacey Cutts was a front-seat passenger in one of the cars when it lost control and left the A140 at Tasburgh.
Well, today a judge at Norwich Crown Court condemned what he called macho driving and sentenced 23-year-old Tom Wright and 19-year-old Jake Riseborough to 3.5 years in jail.
Well, we can now join Malcolm Robertson from Tasburgh. Malcolm, a very tragic case.
Yes, a very, very sad case. Stacey Cutts came from the South Norfolk town of Harleston. She was 18 in April last year, and just a few days after her birthday, she was out celebrating with her boyfriend, Tom Wright. He was driving, and on the way home, he saw someone he knew, Jake Riseborough, someone he didn't like, and between them, they started racing down this road, the A140, which is the road between Norwich and Ipswich. They were doing speeds of more than 100 miles an hour. They were regularly overtaking each other, and it ended tragically about 100 yards from here when Wright lost control of his Toyota Celica car. It went into a fence and into some trees, and Stacey was killed instantly. Well, today, Wright and Riseborough were each jailed for 3.5 years, and the police are tonight warning all young male drivers of the tragic consequences that can result from high-speed driving. For the family of Stacey Cutts, this was a particularly hard day to endure. They've had so many painful ones since Stacey was killed almost a year ago, just a few days after her 18th birthday. Today they were at court to see the two men whose dangerous driving caused her death, each jailed for 3.5 years. They were 23-year-old Tom Wright, her boyfriend, and 19-year-old Jake Riseborough. They were racing each other, both had previous convictions for speeding, and both had a dislike of each other.
The sentences given out today to Wright and Riseborough are nothing compared to the sentence we as a family now have to bear for the rest of our lives.
Stacey's father wore a picture of his daughter on his shirt. By his side was his wife and Stacey's younger brother Lee. Friends on her Facebook site describe her as a girl who was loved by everyone.
Lovely, beautiful, and our daughter and his sister.
Also in Wright's car on that fateful night was Stacey's friend Natalie Taylor. She had urged him to slow down after he and Riseborough were doing speeds of more than 100 miles an hour. Tom Wright, Stacey Cutts and Natalie Taylor had been for a drink at Dunstan Hall Hotel. As they left, who should drive past in a tragic sense of timing but Jake Riseborough. This clearly upset Wright, and very soon afterwards, the chase began. For several miles, they raced each other along the A140 towards Ipswich, Wright turning a deaf ear to appeals to slow down.
He should have listened.
He should have listened, shouldn't he?
Should have listened.
He must have known what he was doing. Must have known what danger he was putting people in, not just the ones in the car, but the other road users as well. So he never heeded the warning. So we lost the daughter, and well, he can get on with his life, can't he, when he's out of prison?
Steve Crowley told me how the chase ended in the village of Tasburgh when Wright lost control of his Toyota Celica car and crashed into a fence. Stacey died instantly. Judge Paul Downs described it as macho driving. The wickedness of this case was the way you were reacting to each other. You were both taking huge risks at high speed.
It was dangerous, it was irresponsible, they were racing each other, and they had no regard for anybody's safety at all as they travelled along. No regard for the passengers in their own vehicles, no regard for any other road users.
Tonight the police are hoping the devastation suffered by Stacey's family might serve as a salutary reminder of just what tragedy can result from high-speed driving.
Malcolm Robertson's report. There are warnings to all young drivers this evening. Now next, anti-nuclear protesters have been blockading Sizewell nuclear power station today. The activists chained themselves together to obstruct access roads, and it took police 3 hours to cut them free.
The group claimed the government's consultation on the proposed development of the site on the Suffolk coast is a sham and that locals aren't being listened to. Martin Stew reports.
For 8 hours, bound together by concrete and cables, they faced freezing winds and driving rain to protest against potential expansion of the Sizewell site.
It's a bit uncomfortable, but on the other hand, I think it's important to really stop new build of nuclear power stations, and to get a bit cold and wet for that, I think, is nothing compared to what can happen if you don't do anything.
The group, ranging in age from 23 to 65, are all angry that a draft government statement highlighting Sizewell as a potential site for a new nuclear reactor has been subjected to just 9 weeks of consultation.
If we rush it through, what dangers are we leaving for the future? If we don't look at the health and safety of these stations before they go up, let alone what we're going to do with the waste. The government have nowhere to put the waste.
Energy company EDF, who operates Sizewell B, insists this review is just the start of a very thorough consultation process.
Already we've hosted a number of local exhibitions, we've had a number of questions in, we've talked to well over 500 people from the local community. That process will continue, and we'll continue to get all their views, and we will be as open and transparent with the local community.
At midday, the police stepped in to clear the road. More than 15 officers involved in the operation to free the protesters from their concrete shackles.
Well, after nearly 3 hours of cutting, the final protester has almost been released. But as police prepare to leave this protest site, they can be pretty sure it won't be the last time there'll be some form of demonstration against the Sizewell C reactor. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Sizewell.
Right, then it's coming up to 8 minutes past 6. You're watching
More news now from closer to home. A diving instructor from Leiston is recovering back in Suffolk after crashing his motorbike in Thailand. Shane Free was in a coma for 4 weeks in a hospital in Phuket.
His family flew to his bedside to care for him, but now face a £24,000 medical bill from Thailand. Alpa Patel takes up the story.
Back in Suffolk, Shane Free can take the first steps towards recovery. In December, he crashed his motorbike in Thailand, where he was living as a dive instructor. The crash left him in a coma for 4 weeks. His mum, Monica, flew straight to his bedside.
It was heartbreaking. It was sorry.
On top of his injuries, Shane contracted pneumonia, and it was touch and go if he'd make it. Thousands of miles from Suffolk in a Thai hospital, Monica became Shane's living carer.
They do absolutely nothing for you whatsoever, just the basic medical care, and you have to pay for everything. If you want a mask, you have to pay for a mask. You want gloves, you have to pay for gloves. You've got dogs running up the corridors and cats, and even in his room you've got cockroaches. Thank goodness for the NHS.
With Thailand not having a free national health service, Shane's treatment has cost £24,000. His family have all chipped in, and hundreds of friends have rallied together on Facebook. Already they've raised £3,000.
To me, it just shows how popular Shane is and how much he's loved by his friends and that. And I'm sure Shane is very, very grateful for it. Yeah. So
yeah.
You are, aren't you, darling?
Yeah.
And it's just, like I said, I just can't thank people enough.
Shane has been treated at Ipswich Hospital since he got back to Suffolk on the 19th of January.
He's just gone from strength to strength. It's 5 days, I think, now we've been going down to the gym, and he's just gone from basic stuff to right to what you can see now. You know, it's marvellous out of this world.
After 2 months of hell, Shane's finally regaining his strength and his smile too. Alpa Patel, Anglia News.